Best books written by female authors. The first book that I want to talk about, it is The Last Thing He Told Me from Laura Dave. And actually this book won the Goodreads prize from the thriller category, I believe 2 years ago. And this book was just incredible, amazing, like wow. And we are following Hannah. And Hannah is married with this guy, and this guy has a daughter where her name is Bailey. And Bailey and Hannah, they have like kind of like no bad relationship, but just very like distant. One day, from nowhere, the husband disappears, leaving a note to Hannah saying, "Take care of my daughter." That's it. That's it. And is this like situation about her, like what? And she started to looking for the husband and going to the past of the husband to find a lot of secrets. And this relationship with her and the stepdaughter, it was just growing and growing and became really, really strong and unique. And this book is a lot of secrets. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I really, really recommend it because it's one of the best thrillers I ever read in my whole life. Number two that I wanna talk about is a book that I recently read, and I am talking about The Secret History from Donna Tartt. This book was just insane, and I couldn't stop. First, I couldn't stop reading this book, but also when I finished the book, I couldn't stop thinking about this book for a while. That got me completely traumatized. And it's a thriller, and we are following 5 teenagers, I would say, that are enrolled in this classic Greek assignment, right? So they belong to this Greek class, and then one kid is coming to this school. He's a really like normal kid with very smart, very good grades, and he wants to be part of this Greek class. But in order to be part of this class, he has to stop taking other classes from another professors. So basically dedicate the entire year only to this class, which is like given by this weird professor that he's extremely selective. So Richard, which is this guy, decides to, okay, I'm just gonna take this class and we'll see. And he's trying to understand the other 4 students because they have this weird communication between each other, their weird connection, and all of them are like drunkards, like drug addicts, like alcoholics. They're so weird. And then the book starts like literally when one of them has been killed, and has been killed by the other 4. So that's the first part of the book. Like, you know that they were bullying one of them and they kill him. And it's really bizarre. This book is very, at the same time, emotional because it takes a lot of like mental issue in order to justify a murder, and they justify how and why kill this guy. And you start knowing each of them. In the first part, you start knowing the personalities, how they are, how they interact with each other. And in the second part of the book is after they commit this murder, what happened to each of them, how's the police being involved, and what is the end. I'm going to leave in the description a full review about this book because I did a video because I got traumatized of this book. It's an incredible option if you like thrillers, and especially if you like twist mind thrillers. This is a great option. You have to be really open mind in order to understand, in order to make the connection with these teenagers. It's really sad. It's very disturbing, and it's also a lot of secrets, and you can see the personality and how the drugs and the alcohol really affect their brain and how they perceive life. In one point you were like, okay, those guys are completely psycho and they're completely out of any normal, but they only have this tool that they really believe that they did the correct thing. So I really recommend this book, and it's also written by an incredible female author, Donna Tartt. My third option is a book that really killed me in the most beautiful way. Is historical fiction genre, which I really enjoy, but I don't read it quite often because it's very emotional. I feel historical fiction is really, really emotional genre, and I'm talking about The Nightingale from the very, very trendy author, bestseller, Christine Hanna. So this book, I think this book is my favorite from this author, and we are following two sisters in the Second World War, which is then in France, and is when German people come to France and how they take everything from them and how they are taking the Jewish to send them to this, to kill them. So it's really, really sad. It's very emotional, but it's very powerful, because you can see the relationship between those sisters even when they are completely different in personalities. One of them is really like, I want to fight for my country, I want to like get all these people out of my country, I want to fight for like justice, and I want to be part of this, even when it's risking her own life to do it, right? And the other sister is the opposite way. She just want to have a family, she just want to keep calm and live and accept the things for what they are, and just having a family and try to survive. And they have a lot of like fights, arguments, even sometimes I will say hate to each other, but the connection and the love they have for each other is way stronger, and the end is devastated. Also, I see in this book that, I mean, if we're talking about war, obviously it's very powerful and it's really strong and it's very emotional, because you made a connection and you were like see the injustice, what is happening every single war, but at the same time the passion, the love, for your country, for your beliefs, it's just amazing. She always Christine Hanna always kills me, makes me cry a lot, because the way she writes is so beautiful, so profound, so deep, that I have no words to describe how good is this book, even with touches a very sensitive topic, which is the Second World War. So I really, really recommend it. And it's anything that you read from Christine Hanna is basically 5 out of 5 stars. But this book for me was literally 6 stars, if I can give it to that. Amazing. Fourth option is a classic, which I think I mentioned this book a lot, but I had to include it here because it was written by a female author and is amazing book. And I am talking about Charlotte Bronte is the author, and I'm talking about the classic Jane Eyre. And Jane Eyre really changed my perspective about life, because the way it was written, especially because this book, the woman, the main character, is really advanced for the historical period that is writing this book. So that makes me like really be fascinated by this story, because sometimes when we read a book or we watch a movies, we have to accept the historical period and understand why the woman act the way they did, because yes, it was in this moment. You have to understand that at that time women were very like passive and accepting things. So okay, but in this case it's completely the opposite. We're following Jane Eyre, where she wants to be a teacher and she really wants to follow her dreams. She really wants to go for it. She doesn't want to get married and have kids and have that life. She wants more, and all the things she goes through, she has this beautiful heartbroken relationship and love story that I'm not going to spoil, but it really teaches a lot about life, a lot about values, and sometimes we need to make the right decision that is not what we want at the moment, but in the future is the best for us. And it talks about like a lot of self-love, a lot about self-respect of a woman, about like speak up for you and follow your dreams no matter what. And this is, it's an incredible classic. I'm really fan of the 3 Bronte sisters, to be honest. Charlotte, Emily and Anne, incredible like literature like masters. I think they were incredible, but I had to pick one for this video, and I decided to pick Jane Eyre, a classic, and of course written by an incredible female author. Last option is a book that is in a fantasy genre, and this book is just a bomb everywhere. It's so trendy in TikTok, Instagram, booktube everywhere. And I am talking about The Court of Thorns and Roses from Sarah Maas, the ACOTAR series. I read the 5 books, I haven't there, but I decided to pick the first one in order to talk in this video for the purpose of like in this video. And we are following Feyre, and Feyre is a girl who lives with her sisters, and one day this monster comes and take her to live to another kind of like world in order to save from a curse to this thing. And she became in love with this, and she lives a lot of adventures. This book is the retelling from the story of the Beauty and the Beast, but in like different way. I love it so much. The entire series is just amazing. My favorite book is definitely the first one, the second one, and the third one. All of them are so incredible, and this author is super trendy, and it's just for me difficult sometimes to understand fantasy because I feel it's so many characters, but in this case there were not. There were like a few, but very important, each of them, especially like the sisters of Feyre. You understand them, you start knowing them, and we have this love triangle that is just incredible. How you feel like, okay, this is the love, you know, that and that, but then you realize no, it's not. Like someone else is coming, and Feyre is growing a lot, and of course when she's growing a lot, she's changing the way she feels, and it's completely okay, right? We sometimes, I feel like when we start loving someone, we have to end there, and we don't have to, right? We can always change. So I love it so much, this book. I really recommend to give it a try to the series. Read the first one. I have to say it's a little bit slow, this book, but it's necessary in order to build also the different kingdoms and the world, so you can understand. But once you go to the flow and you start understanding the story, this is a best seller. It's a best, like, if you're gonna go to fantasy, I will recommend this book, and I'm so happy and proud that was also written by a female author. Much for watching my video. Thank you so much, guys, for taking your time, and just do me a big favor, let me know below if you have a specific book that you really love written by a female author. I would love to know, and you know, give it a try as well. I always love have recommendations. And thank you so much, and I hope you like this video. And if you do me a huge favor, which is subscribe to my channel, give it a like, and share it with your friends, because I really want to have this community growing. And I'm going to see you next time with a new bookish adventure.